No, it's pretty much came assembled. It's just like the can, and then there's a little tray at the bottom that comes out, and then a little ring comes off the top. That's it. Lid's on the side there. Yeah, it's really efficient too. It burns once you get a fire going. Never had a fire go out. Having a tray and there's a bunch of little holes around the bottom really help. When's the last time you made a fire or went to someone else's place that was having a bonfire? Hello, Jimmy. Welcome back. It's going good. Finally got some laundry done. Been putting that off for a while. Got that done earlier. Already had a little wood chop, so I went ahead and got the rest of it chopped. What'd you have for dinner, Jimmy? Zach had pizza, meat lovers pizza. Been a few years for you, Zach. I've got enough wood. I usually try to make one and stream it at least once a week. Salmon, salad, and mashed potatoes. Nice. What do you like to put on your potatoes? So used to, at the restaurant, I'd always get them loaded with bacon, sour cream, butter, sour cream, bacon, cheese, and chives. Bacon bits, cheese, and chives. Oh yeah, gravies too. Definitely some brown mushroom gravy. I know that's your favorite. Hello, Spencer's Lego. Welcome. Hope you're having a good weekend. Gotta go. I hope you have a good night. Spencer's Legos. Nice seeing you. Yeah, you probably walk by mushrooms and just be like, see one on the ground, and be like, ugh, and just walk right by, and I would have been like, oh, that's a video right there. Hello, Bama boy. Good evening. What'd you have for dinner, Bama boy? Yeah, it probably would have gone the same way for me, Zach. You could maybe try coming up with, try to write down 50, or at least 20 or 30 questions maybe before the stream. Maybe do a, you're probably gonna, if you're thinking of having the audience ask you questions, yeah, it's not really, you can't really plan that unless you just wrote a list of things you'd ask them. But otherwise, if you're gonna make something for dinner or something, point the camera at the stove or as you're making it, and that way you're doing something at least, doing something while you're waiting for people to come in. Yeah, it's the hard thing about streaming. You can't plan what's gonna people are gonna talk about or ask you, and you often get people come in the stream and ask you personal questions, and you find out they're like more than young enough to be your child. I've had people come in and you start asking questions, and you find out they're only 7 years old. So just because people ask you stuff doesn't mean you have to answer them. Tomorrow I'm going with my parents to stream Well, we're going to this place called Navy Point Park. They're gonna probably do some fishing uh, on land. We're not gonna take the boat. But I was planning on, it was a place I had streamed about a year ago. It was the last time I was there. I went there right before I started driving around Florida. There's a place I got in the water and I seen there's a bunch of crabs in the water. And I seen you'll see it looks like a river, but much bigger a bigger river than the other one I used to go to. Much bigger than that. But there'd be boats, and then last time I went there either 2 or 3 times and streamed, and one of the times I was there, there was dolphins. So there's a chance we could see dolphins because they come up to people, and dolphins like to take fish off people's hooks. They've stolen fish from my dad quite a bit. Hello, Carissa. Welcome. Yeah, it might have been your good luck charm there when you're fishing Jimmy. It's a shame that I think Lurkin missed it. He might have stepped out. I think he stepped out like right before that. So you got any plans tomorrow, Jimmy or Carissa or Zach, Bama Boy? Taking mom shopping, then hanging out. Family, nice. Your mom works. Going out Monday. Yeah, I'll probably be going out to a restaurant with my mom on either Monday or Tuesday. What does your mom do, Carissa, that she has to work on Mother's Day? Does she work at a hospital? She used to work in a hospital, works in a restaurant now. I should have guessed that. I've worked in a few different restaurants, and usually when it gets close to even like a month away from Mother's Day, they'll come up and say, no one gets to ask off. No one's asking off. Everyone's going to be here. It is busiest day in restaurants of the year. I would make good tips waiting tables, but I wouldn't say it was better than really other weekends, because since it was a holiday, they would just have more of us there and give us smaller sections, so that way there's less chance of someone messing up or getting overwhelmed. But I'd make more on the nights when there'd be like only 3 of us servers, and 2 of them really want to leave early, and I was going to close anyway, so. Hello, Snacky T. Welcome. Snacky T just became a member. Just maybe yesterday or the day before. It's very nice to have you, Snacky T. Hope you're having a nice weekend. I don't think I have any any marshmallows, Jimmy. I had some mini ones for a while, but keep forgetting to get those. It's not usually on my grocery list, so. Yeah, you're welcome, Snacky T. Get some, please. You know what? I think my mom still has never, my mom's never tried a s'more in her life. I don't know if my dad has or not. That's okay, Zach. Oh, wow. How'd they break the ribs? Sorry to hear that. My dad was just telling me, well, I already heard about it, but he's talking about when I was growing up, we were building this house when we lived in Missouri, and he fell off a ladder and fell 15 feet and landed on his head and neck. And he luckily didn't mess up his neck or vertebrae at all, or his spine, but he did break a couple ribs. Heavy toe pin. Ouch. Safe travels to everyone that's got to drive a lot tomorrow. Before this, I lived in a duplex and I had just a very small little yard there that they would actually mow for us. And I don't know if if we were allowed to have any kind of fires there. None of the neighbors ever did, so I don't think but the yard really wasn't even big enough for that. And even if I did, there would barely any space to keep the firewood. Certainly couldn't just walk around there and find a bunch of sticks on the ground like I can here. Oh, you can't have any fires at all in Colorado. I think I might have heard that maybe once. I guess I never really knew it was that dry there. You can't have any fireworks either? Well, imagine how many people leave the state at 4th of July. Going back to Texas ASAP. What part of Texas? Or maybe Virginia. Well, yeah, that'd be a lot different. McKinney, Texas. I've heard McKinney, but is that northern or southern or western or eastern? Yeah, that would be nice just to have a little propane fire. We actually just got one that was on there's this like warehouse place that gets like back stock from Home Depot and Lowe's and whatnot. But it's this outdoor table and it has a tile top and actually has put down like charcoal rocks, but it's just got a ring and it uses like, so you put a propane tank underneath it so you can have a little propane fire going. Northern Texas, okay. What's up, Bozo? Haven't seen you in a little bit. How's your weekend going? Moving back to your RV? Nice. I could live in an RV. When I was in my 20s, I spent across different road trips a total of about 3 months sleeping in the back of my truck. I had a pickup. I had a single cab Dodge Dakota, and then my uncle had a camper shell, so put that on the back and the air mattress in the back of that. And then for a while, I had a Trailblazer, just recline the seat all the way back. What's up, Lurkin? Welcome. What? You didn't get bit by that possum, did you, Bozo? The possum did bite your finger. Right after Bozo says, the possum did bite my finger, Jimmy says, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like raccoons better. I prefer raccoons. Those trash pandas are much more cute. There was one time whenever I was in the Boy Scouts, we were on a week-long camping trip. There would always be week-long summer camps every year. And one time we went to Kentucky, I think. And the last night, instead of sleeping in our tents, there was these. We noticed that there was these. We were real close to this big lake. It was. We could stand at our tents and throw rocks and throw them in the lake, or walk right up to it. It was that close. But we were noticing that raccoons were coming up at night. It's the last night of the summer camp. We all slept in either on. A few of us had hammocks. So I slept in a hammock and then other people slept in hammocks, and some people just slept like they had these benches, these tables, camping tables, and so I think one of the troop leaders said if we could get a picture of the raccoon, they would give us like $50, and I did get a picture, but you couldn't see the raccoon in it, and it was just like a cheap one-time use camera. It wasn't This was before the smartphones. But I remember that night I woke up and actually noticed that there was around a dozen raccoons walking around us in the campsite. Yeah, I agree with you, Zach. Possums do look like they're always mad and about to go. You're about to see them take a hostage at a 7-Eleven. That's awesome, Lurkin. Your fish video got 1,100 views. I seen that. That was a really good short. When did you do that live stream that you made the short from? You worked 11 hours today. That's a lot, Buxler. You're lucky you didn't fall asleep while you're out there mowing the lawn. Have a good night, Snacky T. Appreciate you hanging out so long. Look forward to chatting with you again. Hope you have a good time with your daughter. Do you think was it from last year or let's see. I figured it wasn't like that recent, Lurkin. I was just curious, like how many. I could tell it was like a couple months, but so I'm guessing was it from last summer sometime. But yeah, I've done that quite a few times. I've made shorts off videos that were more than a year old. Oh, that was when you were in Missouri. Nice. BRB Buckslayer. Okay. Lurkin backed out. That doesn't seem. That doesn't sound like Lurkin. Well, you can make a coon hat, bozo. That is true. Jimmy is the champ tonight. He caught one. I was there. It was a nice rainbow trout. There was at least one other person. I think it might have been Luca. Yeah, Larkin's got a good point as well. If there was no rule set beforehand, officially, that's why Jimmy was wanting to do it tonight. He was saying something about the moon. Whenever I first seen that, you were saying about the crescent waxing of the moon. I thought you were just being silly, and then it looked like Lurkin thought the same because he just said, "What the heck?" And I was tired and sleepy at the point, so my brain just thought to say, "Well, that's the same night I became a werewolf." And there's like a full moon going on. But I was just like one of those moods where you're just tired and something seemed a lot more funny to me than it probably was to everybody else. That's all that matters. If it makes you laugh, that's all that matters. Sometimes. Waxing gibbous moon. Okay, that's what a gibbous moon. That sounds like gibbous, something to do with monkeys. What was that old movie with Michael J. Fox where he became a werewolf? Teen Wolf, that was it. Well, it's not like I'm not sure what you missed exactly, Jimmy. Probably nothing important. Right there, I just had that question, and Zach answered with Teen Wolf. So I said the gibbous moon sounds like something to do with monkeys. What's a dormant print? Is that a bird? We should get some people go snipe hunting. So, what show you been watching lately, Carissa? You've been snipe hunting, Jimmy? I thought you might have been. Hello, Banana. Welcome. Hope you're having a good weekend so far, Banana. Wow, 22 hours. Which one of the guys was it that got you up that early, Krissa? I'm gonna guess Danny. Season 5 of American Horror Story. Oh, it's Tony. Oh, you had a fire just a couple hours ago, but it's a propane tank. Yeah, someone was in here just talking about that. I think it was Snacky. Yeah, I think whenever I was on, it was a bunch of us were on a Boy Scout camping trip, and a few of the adults talked us into going and looking for snipes. I think one of them might have even came with us to escort us on the hunt. I can't remember it being if that. Usually in the scouts we didn't go too often when it was cold, but there was one time I remember. I think it was not sure if we had planned it or maybe just we got hit with a freak storm, but we woke up and there was a foot of snow and we were in this huge field and I remember we made this snowman so big that three of us couldn't even move the bottom part of it. Naps make it worse. Yeah, I think I've kind of noticed that too. Really noticed it's interesting, like depending on what you're doing, on how tired you feel. When I was traveling last summer, I was going to this state park I had found, and I only had a few hours to go there. And as I was driving there, just sitting there in the vehicle, and I couldn't stop from yawning, and I had to pull over once to just kind of shake my head a bit and get out and stretch a bit, and still like the whole way there, I kept yawning, and I was extremely tired. But as soon as I got there and started streaming, doing a live stream, I didn't yawn once the rest of the time, and I was wide awake. I didn't feel sleepy the entire time I was there. Hello, SPJ. Nice to see you. Yeah, Buddy's inside sleeping. You gotta go. I hope you have a good night, Bozo. You gotta work a lot tomorrow. Oh yeah, I finally did laundry earlier today. I've been putting it off for a while. I didn't even do all of it. I just decided I'll do the next load a little bit sooner than I would have. Gonna go film the moon. Nice. Yeah, look forward to seeing those pictures, Jimmy. Catch you later. We did 2 loads. Yeah, I should have done 2 loads. The washer, whenever they just delivered the washer, they didn't set it up right, so it shakes and makes annoying noises. Man, you had everything going. Dishwasher, vacuum. Would you have the blender going, making some kind of vegetable or fruit smoothies in the background? And got the microwave. A couple things. Got a bagel in the toaster. That reminds me about this one stand-up comic I heard, and he was talking about his wife had a condition where she couldn't stay focused on one thing, so she started like an art project in the living room, and then she got a few of the pieces and then left them on the table, and then she go in and she started doing dishes, and then she started left the dishes halfway, and then she went and started vacuuming, and then while she was vacuuming she decided just to leave it running and standing and go and do something else for a while. And then she started going something else, so like the husband would walk in and there's like all the appliances are going, everything's going, and then she's just sitting there staring at something. But it was really funny. He was talking about how there's this place that sells like gemstones, except they call them like they're all about healing stones, and so each time they go there, the wife has to buy at least one of the stones, and the guy hates it because he said there's just little rocks all around the house. He goes in the bathroom and there's little rocks all over the toilet and the sink, and just going up the steps, there's little rocks, and she's got to carry them in her pockets all the time because they all have healing powers. It was really funny. I can't remember his name. Yeah, Bozo doesn't like to eat. I don't. Hopefully, I don't even know if he likes to snack. Do you not like beef jerky? At least take some beef jerky out there with you. You got a or other type of jerky. Why was the cat scratching the cabinet? Was there food in the cabinet, Krissa? Well, apparently Bozo's trying a new strategy. He used to be so laying all these one-liners one after another, and now he's pulling back. And now Chris is like, "Why are you ignoring me?" Hello, John Griff. Good evening. Welcome. Oh, she missed the counter. Ouch. Yeah, we're gonna have to try switching his food. We're gonna have to try switching his food to a different brand. This one's not working. Or, it could be the fact that he got bit by a possum. Do you know what the Oh, Bozo's gonna out there catch rabies. Yeah, I remember even when I was young, around Bozo's age, I still needed, if I was out doing something during the day. I remember when I was in Missouri, there's this really long, flat paved trail called the Katy Trail. I think runs across a few different states. But we would just go ride it for like 2 hours or so. There was a little campground that we'd ride up to, and they had a pretty much the tiniest version of a mountain you could find in Missouri. But I remember we'd ride up to the tiniest top of this little mountain and then ride down. But it was extremely hard to ride up. You pretty much had to walk up the few parts, but anyways, I remember we stopped once, and I was the only one who had thought to bring just a little bit of like trail mix and maybe one little cheap granola bar. And after I had just a few bites of that, I could feel my energy just pick right up. I gotta turn the flashlight off for a while. The battery's at 17%. You're gonna make Chris a drive after she just works 22 hours. She had to do 2 loads of laundry, load of dishes. I think she said she was out there changing the oil on her vehicle, couple of replacing the tires, putting a new head gasket in, and now you're gonna make her drive over there to make you eat food. Yeah, I don't read all the messages out loud, John. And when there's more than 2 of us, then I don't assume that you're talking to me unless you put the word Chris or the or stuff. I've done it a few times and it's just embarrassing. So I don't know. Bozo had a RV. That's cool. Snacky was talking about RV as well. He, I think Bozo might have came in after she left. Wow, that one fox got 3 ducks and 7 chickens. You know what you should do, Bozo? On the show The Walking Dead, they finally caught this guy Negan. They put him in a cage in the middle of the town. Well, not in the middle of town. It was like in the basement of the sheriff's office or whatever. So, but anyways, he had a window so he could just watch people just walking by and enjoying their lives. And some people would come talk to him or watch him, but instead of ending his life quickly, they just put him there and made him watch everyone live a normal life around him. So you could just keep the fox, make it live a long life. You should use it for YouTube videos instead. Make a lot of money off it. Hello, Dusty. Welcome. I haven't been on X in a while, Zach. It usually slows down around 3 to 4 p.m. because it's mostly most of my followers on there are in other countries. It actually shows you what percentage, and like 90% is in South Africa or in Nigeria. BRB, Dusty. Yeah, I mean, there's different reasons. You you can support hunting in the conservation system without necessarily going hunting yourself. I don't have the time or patience to go hunting anymore, but I killed 2 small bucks when I was a teenager, and I support hunting because I know if before the conservation was set up in the United States, deer were becoming overpopulated, and whenever animals become overpopulated, they clear out the food source in the area, and then they end up just dying off. I remember once heard about this. They found like, I don't know if maybe it was before the conservation system, but they found like around 100 dead deer in this area. I could be wrong, but I think like in Australia, like they don't hunt the kangaroos, and so the kangaroos are a huge problem and actually cause a lot of vehicle accidents. And those suckers are mean too. I don't know if you guys have ever seen kangaroo videos, but they look like boxers, except stronger. Battery's at 13%, so I'll have to go switch to my other phone in here a little bit. Yeah, that's why I kind of figured you meant Carissa. What's really sad is like in other countries they don't have like the zoos like we have, which are mostly rescue animals. I've heard about whales in China and their zoos being in these tiny swimming pools. Yeah, I would definitely run away from a kangaroo. It probably would catch me if running away from it, but maybe climb a tree if there was could find a tree. Definitely wouldn't win that fight. Wouldn't even want to try it. Welcome back, Dusty and Bozo. Yeah, I've heard like in Australia, they like kangaroos not only cause a lot of wrecks, but if you're in a wreck, that they often go up and attack the people afterwards. Like there's almost like one step away from out there causing the wrecks just to start fights with humans. And I don't think they eat them. I don't think they eat. They might. I don't know if they're. I don't know what they eat, but I don't think they eat. I think they probably eat like grass and berries and stuff like that. So they're just doing it just for fun, out of spite. No, I can't tell a story, John Griff. I said the phone battery's around 10%, so the stream's gonna. I'm gonna have to switch to the other phone in probably about 5 minutes. Huh. Oh, they just like one punch knocks someone unconscious, Krissa, and then it's like fall, hits one out. Yeah, that'd be scary. To, I mean, the punch would be bad enough, but I'd be more worried about, almost just as worried about what my head would hit, just smacking the concrete or hitting someone else on the way down. Have a good night, Bozo. Are you finally gonna go eat some food now, Bozo, before you go to bed? Yeah, good idea. Yeah, don't be telling me about big spiders. You remember that old comedy movie, Eight-Legged Freaks? Oh, that's right. You're out. Well, I hope you return home safely. It so it would have been only been like 36 hours since you ate, just like a day and a half. That fox is gonna have you on its wall. It's gonna have you chasing it for so long. Yeah, you remember that, Zach? Hello, Frankie Perez. Welcome. Yeah, I watched Venom. I liked it. What time is it? 10:52 p.m. here. So it'd be 22:52. What'd you have for dinner, Frankie? I've heard of that, Frankie. That sounds good. That sounds really good. I think I might have tried that once at a restaurant. The battery is on the phone is under 10%, so this stream won't be too much longer. I'm gonna go switch to my other one. That's why I don't have the flashlight on. You can't see the ground around the pit because it was using too much battery. This stream's been going on for 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 40 seconds. You're at 21. Yeah, I just checked and it was at 8. And streaming is the same as recording video. It drains the battery pretty quickly. I'm going to try to wait 3 more minutes. That way it'll say it's been streaming for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I agree with you, Dusty. How long have how long have you been painting, Dusty? It's beautiful art, really beautiful. Both the paintings and the acrylic. Gonna do the dishes. Okay, I'll catch you later, Frankie. Thanks. I hope you do as well, Frankie. Got me thinking about that soup now. Sounds really good. Ghost peppers in the soup. Yeah, that would make turn it up quite a bit. Nope. I'll just well now the got a notification that the phone battery is under 5% now, so I got to go ahead and stop the stream. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm gonna start up a new stream a little bit. Otherwise, have a good night.